Okay.
All right, so today we're going to talk about the Grady triangle, and we're going to talk about the different attributes to shapes. Raise your hand if you know an attribute to a shape. What does that mean? Go ahead, Cedric.
It's when a shape can turn into an attribute or it can change into a different shape.
Okay, perfect. What else? What would be another reason behind an attribute, Jari?
Attribute shape is like with only 3 sides.
Okay, sure. So your sides, you would only have 3 sides would be an attribute. Help me out, Emma.
In an attribute, you can do like shapes together and you can make another shape.
Landon. Yes, that's right. So let's read about the Grady triangle, okay? Raise your hand if you ever heard this story. Oh, it's a good story. Let's read it. Once there was a triangle that was, as most triangles are, always busy. The triangle spent its time holding on up roofs, supporting bridges, making music in a symphony orchestra, catching the wind for sailboats, beating slices of pie and halves of sandwiches, and much, much more. The triangle's favorite thing, however, was to slip into the space where people put their hands on their hips. That way, I always hear the latest news, it said, which I can call and tell my friends. So he wanted to always stay right here in the crook of somebody's arm. The triangle's friends liked hearing the news. One day, the triangle began to feel dissatisfied. I tried doing the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more in life, so the triangle went to see the local shapeshifter. How can I help you? The shapeshifter asked the triangle. I think if I had one more side and one more angle, said the triangle, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the triangle into a square, or we call the square a quadrilateral. Life changed in a wonderful way. The quadrilateral was happy with all new things it could do. The quadrilateral could be a baseball diamond, or first or second or third base. It could take a position on the checkerboard or a cheese board or a chess board. It could be a television screen, a computer screen, or a movie screen. It could frame windows or frame pictures and much, much more. The quadrilateral's favorite thing, however, was to be the pages of a book. I learned so many interesting stories that way, it said, which I can tell my friends. The quadrilateral's friends liked hearing the stories. Why is the square quadrilateral? Why is this a quadrilateral, Tyrese?
Because he thought his life would be more interesting.
Okay, but when a quadrilateral, how many sides does a quadrilateral always have? 4. And how many angles does it always have, Gabby?
4.
4, good job. But one day, the quadrilateral began to feel dissatisfied. I'm tired of the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So the quadrilateral went back to the shapeshifter. How may I help you now? The shapeshifter asked the quadrilateral. I think if I just had one more side with one more angle, said the quadrilateral, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the quadrilateral into a, do you know what a 5-1 is? A pentagon. Life changed in a wonderful way. The pentagon was happy with all the things it could do. On a baseball diamond, the pentagon could be home plate. It could be the section of a soccer ball or appear inside whenever someone drew a 5-pointed star. The Pentagon's favorite thing, however, was to be the headquarters of the United States military near Washington, D.C. I'll hear all the top secrets that way, it said. It's too bad I can't tell them to my friends. The Pentagon's friends couldn't help but feeling left out. After a while, time seemed to pass slowly for the Pentagon, and it became dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There must be more to life. So the Pentagon went back to the shapeshifter. So, you're here again, said the shapeshifter, said to the Pentagon. Now what would you like? I think if I just had one more side and one more angle, said the Pentagon, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the Pentagon into a Hexagon. Good job, Maddie. Life changed again in a wonderful way. The hexagon was happy with all the new things it could do. The hexagon fit into the floor tiles in houses and patios, and fancy crackers at parties and picnics. It worked as a socket for certain bolts and the prongs of certain wrenches. The hexagon's favorite thing, however, was to be the cell of a beehive. I love watching the bees as they buzz in and out, it said. The hexagon spent much time in the beehive. It was too busy to talk to his friends. The friends missed the hexagon and couldn't help but feel ignored.
Hey.
Again and again, the shape became restless, dissatisfied, and unhappy. And again, it returned to the shapeshifter for more sides and more angles. The shapeshifter agreed to turn into one shape after another, a hexagon, an octagon, a nonagon, a decagon, and on and on. Finally, the shape had many, many sides and many, many angles. Its sides were so small that it had trouble keeping its balance. Its friends couldn't tell which side it was on and began to avoid the shape. One day, when the shape was going down a hill, it began to roll faster and faster and went screeching around corners, crashing into fences and trees, colliding with bicycles and terrifying walkers. At last, the shape came to a stop. It felt tired and dizzy, lonely and sad. Enough, thought the shape. I don't know which side is up. I can't keep my balance. My friends don't want me around. The shape could no longer remember why he had been so unhappy as a triangle. Very carefully, it made its way back to the shapeshifter. Aren't you happy yet? The shapeshifter asked. I want to be a triangle again, said the shape. I'm not surprised, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the shape back into a triangle. The triangle was delighted to have the old shape back again and kept himself very busy. Once again, it held up roofs, supported bridges, made music in the symphony orchestra, caught winds for sailboats, became slices of pie and halves of sandwich, and much, much more. Still, the triangle's favorite thing was to slip in the place where people put their hands on their hips. That way, I always hear the latest news, it said, which I can tell my friends. Its friends liked hearing the news and were glad the triangle was back in shape again. That's it. So, every time that the triangle turned into a new shape, he had a new attribute. So he might have an extra angle. Make an angle with your hand. He had an extra angle, and he also had an extra side. So what you're going to do is your partners, you are going to take your Venn diagram, and you're going to cut up the shapes in front of you, and you're going to glue each shape and separate them, how they're different and how they're alike. So you might take all of the squares and put on one side, and all the rectangles on one side, and then you might put your diamonds in the middle because they share. So you can choose however you would like to sort your shapes by their attributes, and you and your partner can do that. So first, what you're going to do is you're going to cut the shapes out. After you cut the shapes out, you're going to decide how to glue them according to their attribute. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead and get your scissors out and you can get started. Pause it for just a second. You can tell me when.
Go.
Okay, guys, so you've got your shapes cut out. How are you going to sort your shapes?
Squares and rectangles.
Okay, how are squares and rectangles alike?
They both have 4 sides.
And how are they different?
The rectangle has 2 longer sides.
Good. Are they both parallel to each other? Are all the sides parallel? Yes. All right. Go ahead and start sorting and just glue your rectangles and your squares, and then in the middle you can write about how they're the same and how they're different. Okay? All right.